When my mother's voicemail came through, I almost ignored it. Her name still had that reflexive power, the kind that made my stomach tighten before I even heard her voice. But I listened. She didn't sound angry. That would have been easier. She sounded composed. Efficient. You're out. Don't come back. We're moving forward without you. Then a pause. As a family, the message ended, no shouting, no accusations, just removal. Like I'd been voted off some private board I'd spent half my adult life financing. I sat at my kitchen counter longer than I'd like to admit, phone still in my hand, rereading the transcript as if the words might soften the second time. They didn't. For years, I had been the reliable one, the practical child, the one who stayed calm during emergencies, covered legal fees when my younger brother spiraled, helped restructure my parents' debts after my father's failed business, and quietly funded the down payment on a commercial real estate investment my mother insisted would secure the family's future. My future, apparently, had not been included. I typed one word back, noted. No dramatic confrontation, no pleading. Then I opened my laptop. Removing my authorization from the family trust took less than 20 minutes. Flagging irregular activity on the shared business account took one call. Withdrawing my name and my capital from the pending real estate acquisition required a formal notice to the attorney managing escrow. By midnight, everything was in motion. I didn't do anything illegal. I didn't freeze assets. I didn't take revenge. I simply stopped allowing my resources, credit, and legal authority to be used by people who had explicitly informed me I was no longer family. For the first time in my life, I responded to emotional abandonment with paperwork. I slept better than expected. By 7:12 the next morning, I had 79 missed calls. My mother, my brother, my aunt, two cousins who had ignored me for years, my father who preferred silence until consequences became expensive. There were voicemails now, panicked ones. So call us immediately. There's been some misunderstanding. You've gone too far. And then the final message. Their lawyer. We have a serious problem. I laughed, not because it was funny, because for the first time the problem was measurable enough for them to respect. I called him back. He spoke carefully, in that polished tone attorneys use when trying to sound neutral while standing in a fire. The trust restructuring has created immediate complications. The bank's compliance department has flagged several transfers, and the property sellers are reconsidering due to funding instability. I lean back in my chair. That sounds serious. A pause. Your family would like to discuss resolution. Resolution, interesting word. For years, resolution meant I absorbed the damage quietly so everyone else could remain comfortable. I thought about holidays where I paid but wasn't consulted. Business meetings where my contributions were assumed but my opinions dismissed. Conversations where love always seemed directly proportional to compliance. I'm unavailable for emotional negotiations, I said, but my attorney can review any revised agreements. Silence. Not the wounded silence of family, the stunned silence of a professional realizing the leverage had permanently changed hands. That was the moment everything shifted, not when my mother left the voicemail, not when I withdrew funding, but when institutional systems, contracts, banks, trustees became louder than family mythology because feelings could be manipulated, documents could not. Over the next few weeks, the fallout spread quietly. The property deal collapsed. My brother's planned expansion into the shared business stalled. My parents had to liquidate assets to stabilize obligations they had assumed would remain under my umbrella. Relatives who once called me selfish suddenly became very interested in healing. I declined most invitations, not out of cruelty, out of clarity. The strangest part wasn't losing them. It was realizing how long I had mistaken financial usefulness for love. Grief came, but not in one dramatic wave. It arrived in quieter forms, seeing family photos and noticing how often I was present but peripheral. Remembering birthdays where my gifts exceeded my welcome. Understanding that being needed is not the same as being valued. My mother eventually sent another message, this one shorter. I didn't think you'd actually do it. I stared at it for a long time, then archived it. Because she was right. They never thought I would. That had always been the foundation of their power. That I would endure more than I would disrupt. But boundaries are disruptive by nature, especially to people who benefited from your lack of them. In the end, there was no triumphant reunion, no cinematic apology, no explosive revenge, just distance, legal revisions, financial independence. I still carry the loss, but I also carry something newer. Proof that sometimes reclaiming yourself doesn't look like destruction. Sometimes it looks like signatures. Remove permissions and the calm understanding that being excluded from dysfunction may be the first real invitation to freedom.